Josie. Project. The only saving grace is that there's
They have to
they
be.
have to be asked. So if there wasn't that,
Thank you very much.
Because they're not
Really, really big jewel in your
Mike, join me in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. We'll get right into approval of the agenda. 3-1. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? So moved. Thank you, Brandon. Do I have a second? Second. Thanks, Blaine.
All in favor?
Aye. Action items out of closed session. We got some closed session minutes from June 8th and June 22nd. Do I have a motion to approve that as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Susan. Do I have a second? Thank you, Greg. Here, Betsy, please.
Yes. Maddox?
Yes.
Siren?
Yes.
Worley?
Yes.
Urevich?
Yes.
Carter? Yes. Pop?
Yes. Moving on to communications. Anybody have anything they'd like to address the school board on, any agenda topic? Any citizens that want to sign on? Nope. No good? All right. Moving on to consent agenda items, 5-1 through 5-10. They want to pull any of them?
I would like to pull 5.7.
Okay. Any others? 5.6. Any others? All right, then do I have a motion to approve 5-1 to 5-5, and then 5-8 to 5-10? Thanks, Brandon. Second? Second. Thanks, Blaine. Betsy, please.
Siren?
Yes.
Worley?
Yes.
Urevich?
Yes.
Carter? Yes. Maddox?
Yes.
Pop?
Yes. 5-6, school district accounts payable. Blaine, you pull down.
So odds and ends, you don't have the answer, I'm cool with it. But since the meeting was gonna be so short, I know. For instance, on Amalgamated Bank, there's about 600,000 in interest for our bonds. Is that, how?
That comes out of the debt service fund, that's Fund 30.
So that was removed from the levy up front. Okay.
Yeah,
And
that
is
comes
that
from the levy.
monthly or,
Pardon?
is that monthly or quarterly or? how?
No, that's not monthly. We make, in interest, there's two payments a year. In principal, it's one payment.
Okay. It looked a little high, but it was monthly. It looked a lot higher.
There are a few this year that, one of them this year will be 1.2 million, so.
Okay. There was a couple of them in there for U.S. Bank copiers lease, and I thought our copier lease was with, Gibson.
It is, but the bank holds the leasing agreement, so the payments are made to the bank.
Okay, and then there was one for sequels schools, which is probably Jan. I know Hope Schools is over
That's me.
there.
That's a private facility where we have a student placed at,
It is.
up north. It's a residential
So
placement,
why would we use two different services or something?
based on sequel. That's a
Well, 'cause you
residential
have sequel and
placement.
you have Hope and.
Hope is a private facility day school that we utilize. Sequel is a residential program. So we have 3 students that are currently placed out where they live and receive schooling.
They bring somebody in. I'm good, so.
Have a second?
Second.
Betsy, please.
Thank you.
Yes. Carter?
Yes.
Maddox? Yes. Siren?
Yes.
Worley?
Yes.
Urevich?
Yes.
Pop?
Yes.
do is to publicly recognize that Russ Clover did a very good job of cost control during when he came on board as the interim CSPO. I looked at the expenditures of last year versus this year. And there has been a 3.98, this is just for the operating funds. There has been a 3.98% decline in the expenditures. And to the best of my knowledge, I cannot think of any extraordinary expenses that occurred last year that would be a one-time only set of expenses. So my interpretation, well, basically, I look at this decline in expenses of about 1.509 million. It's just better cost control. So I would also like to thank Charlotte because she came in, when Russ departed, Charlotte came in and she has continued the focus, as well as Charlotte's support staff that work with her. So that's the first thing I would like to note, and I want to give Russ Clover due recognition for that. The second thing I would like to ask Charlotte, and it looks that our early tax receipts are actually a bit higher than last year. Could, at some point in the future, maybe at a finance committee meeting, or do you happen to have those numbers available?
Early taxes received last year were 2,779. This year, I'm not sorry, I did 16 million.
Yeah. 16 million. 16 million, what did you say?
16,02,779.
Okay.
This year, 16,631,141.
Okay.
And early taxes received are based on when people pay their taxes.
Right.
And so you really can't gauge too much on that, other than maybe a lot of people decide to pay early this
Right.
year.
And a little bit maybe as an increase in EAD, slightly. I don't know. Okay, well, so that's really, that's good to know that we were pretty much on track, because my concern last year was that it was an anomaly and that this year's early tax receipts would be considerably lower. But having said that, you provided a very interesting schedule at the Finance Committee meeting last week. And could you provide a little, just a verbal description of your findings, in the sense that how spending our early tax receipts have put us in a position that we're now in?
Well, in 2010, and I'm just going to look at the education fund right now, but in 2010, at the end of the year, you had $5.5 million. In 2011, that dropped to negative $313,000. I'm told that was due to building a school out of the ed fund. Every year that's continued to grow. So in 2013, you were 5.7 million in the red. In 2015, you were over 7 million in the red. That can't continue. I mean, that you're spending next year's money in this year. But kudos to not just Russ, but to everybody in this district, because not only did them spending less, but us getting in more money than we anticipated. That $7 million deficit is now a deficit of 4.6 million, which is, it's a huge turnaround. And if we could just keep that trend going, we'll have the district back, not needing any early tax money.
So the idea is, though, you made reference to where the balance was. It seems like over time then, we were spending a greater and greater percentage of early tax receipts that really should have been saved for the subsequent school year. So
that's correct.
So basically, we have to try and pare this reliance down even further.
operating reserves on hand. That impacts our profile, which is one of the reasons our profile is teetering between review and early warning, is because we don't have enough cash reserves on hand.
So we've started.
And just to Charlotte's point, you know, that, and I don't think we could reiterate that enough, how much everyone has played a role. The teachers, our support staff, our administration, everybody. Because really, at the very beginning of last year, we talked about distinguishing between needs and wants. We don't ever want any of our students or staff to go without, but let's just sit back and reevaluate what those are. And so this is really a result of all the work that they've done, and certainly our teachers, our support staff, and everybody else. So I
Yes.
just want to thank you very much to everybody.
Yes, I totally and 100% agree, because the cost reductions are made, in the trenches. That's where they're made. And, I understand it. So please don't misunderstand that I was just giving credit to Russ and Charlie. That's not the case at all. And it's not easy. I know it's not easy. So thank you.
Okay, you good on that one then?
I am.
Questions? Sorry, thanks, Brandon, about a second.
I'll second.
And Susan, Betsy, please.
Maddox.
Yes.
Siren.
Yes.
Worley.
Yes.
Yurevich.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
And Cobb.
Yes. Okay, moving on to personnel consent items, we got 6-1, 6-23. Wish to pull in that?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Now I'm really, okay, what number is
Somebody want
that?
to pull 6-6?
I'll play 6.6, Steve.
Yeah, okay. Okay, good, yeah.
Any others? Okay, and then do I have a motion to approve 6-1 to 6-5 and 6-7 to 6-23 as presented?
So I'll make a second.
Thanks for the first and the second. Betsy, please.
Worley.
Yes.
Yurevich.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Maddox.
Yes.
Siren.
Yes.
Cobb.
Yes. 6-6, employment of a director of special ed.
Well,
Yeah, again, I just, at this point, new employees are required to sing the national anthem, so. No, thank you for pointing that. Just wanted to take an opportunity to welcome Josie. And Wertheim, is that the correct pronunciation?
That's correct, yes.
Wanted to make sure, and we're very pleased. We've gone through a very long and extensive process of finding and locating an outstanding special education director with a wealth of experience. And we went through a very long process, about 3 different interview sessions, really giving the candidates. One of the things that we've done, and we continue to do, is set the interviews up so that we just don't know the candidates, but that the candidates know us. And so through that process, we're very fortunate to have Josie join our team. She's already moved in. Matter of fact, Diane has also moved in. Diane, by the way, loves the fact that she has a window now.
Yes.
So definitely an upgrade. So we would just like to thank you for all of the expertise that you're bringing to our district. We know that you're going to work just wonderfully with our staff, because we have a tremendous staff. I mean, outside of, the principal in there, she's
Thank you.
couldn't ask for a better building administration and staff. What a wonderful place to be. Not that any of the other buildings wouldn't be, but what a great environment that you have over there. So we're looking forward to you joining our team, and looking forward to a successful tenure.
And I'm very excited to be here, so thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, then, we need a motion to approve that employment. Thanks, Brandon. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Greg. Betsy, please.
Yes. Yurevich.
Yes.
Carter. Yes. Maddox.
Yes.
Siren.
Yes.
Worley.
Yes.
And Cobb.
Yes. Josie, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Could we please stand a month or so ago, so, you know, don't worry, Jen was just as embarrassed as you, but too bad, Jen.
And I'd also just, I'm sorry, I'm going to extend this, but be remiss not to thank Jen for all of her assistance throughout this whole process, because as you well know, she was our special education director and has done a wonderful job through this transition, but also helping with Josie, which I know she'll always rely on you as well. So thank you very much, Jen.
Okay, moving on, new business, 7-1. Got the first reading for policy 445. Information only. Do you want to read it?
It was good. Actually, that recovery was even better.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay. We're good on that one then? All right, moving on, 7-2, administrative salary recommendations for fiscal year 2017.
So moved. Second. Oh, we get together. Don't we have to pass that? No?
That was information.
Sorry.
Yep. 7-2, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I
Comments?
would like to make a few comments, please.
You're welcome. You can, go ahead.
I think it's really important for everyone to know that the board, regarding Dr. Wood's salary and review of his performance and thinking about his 16-17-year contract, this wasn't a hasty decision. It was, we spent hours talking about this. We were inundated with data that indicated that Dr. Wood had come on board below market value. I mean, inundated. And Dwayne put together this beautiful Excel spreadsheet, and Dr. Wood had an Excel spreadsheet as well. So, and this was a full board discussion. So please know that we were very deliberate in that regard. And I can only say personally that it's been a tremendous year for the district. We made a lot of gains and strides that needed our attention right away. So I'm speaking on behalf personally in making that decision. And then as to the recommended raises that for the administrators, the board had a discussion about that. They asked questions, and Dr. Wood answered those questions very satisfactorily. So I think that's the one point I would like to make.
Sure. I also, we just to, reiterate that, there was a lot of discussion. One of the things that, the task that I've been given when I came on board was to really look hard and steadfast at things such as compensation, expenditures, revenue streams, and how we could better really be fiscally responsible with taxpayer dollars that we're really so blessed to have in this district. And part of that was trying to find some balance in things, making sure that we're able to attract and retain. That's one of the things we talked a lot about. We have a talented group of staff in this district. We truly do. Our directors, administrators, teachers, support staff. And so there were quite a few lengthy discussions. And one of the things that I wanted to do was when we looked at restructuring the program, I told the board one of the things I really wanted to do was come in at a cost neutral. And that was, how could we look at making things, improving things, and adding resources, but doing that in a cost-effective way, particularly in today's day and age, the scrutiny that certainly public school systems are under, the state is under, Illinois, as you well know. We're working through this and trying to get to a point where we're being fiscally responsible, and we want to demonstrate that. So, as you'll see through the adjustments, some of that due to attrition. And yet, we still hired a tremendous amount of new staff and quality staff to match those talents of those who are currently here. And in doing so, we've been able to add our assistant superintendent and make some adjustments. And while doing those things, still come in below what we had expended in our salary for our administrative team last year. So we're very pleased in doing that. I want to thank the board for working through and providing information, because it was always good to have a soundboard, paradigm shift, look at things differently. Staff members as well, we've had a lot of very valuable conversations. But at the end of the day, I think we have a tremendous team. I think we're being fiscally responsible and cost effective, as is reported not only through this, but through our treasury report. When we're looking at our numbers, we're being much more fiscally responsible in doing so. So, once again, I'd like to thank our Board of Education and certainly our community for working with us through this process.
I might add that I'll compliment all the administration, obviously, and then Dr. Wood for leading by example on, he doesn't want something that nobody else gets. For instance, the legislature just passed that the TRS would go from 9.4 to 9, and he instantly put the 9 in his contract. So just the leadership is appreciated.
And I agree, because it is what the legislature recommended, but more importantly, it's what Dr. Wood wanted in his contract, so.
Any further discussion? No, we have a first and a second. Betsy, please.
Yep. Carter. Maddox.
Yes.
Siren.
Yes.
Worley.
Yes.
Urevich.
Yes.
And Cobb.
Yes. Moving on, communications, 8-1, future board meeting dates. We have back to school breakfast on August 15th, regular meeting on the 22nd, and then a regular meeting on the 26th of September. We also need to get a date sometime in August to finish up our goals.
We do, and contained within, actually, the document was some goals, but there is a caveat in there that they can be changed or adjusted, because a couple of those are having to develop procurement process procedures. Also looking at strategic planning for the district, that's going to be an initiative that's going to be underway, as well as addressing some of our human resource initiatives that we have underway. So those are going to be inclusive. Those will go out to the board for your review. Also, ways in which to track and substantiate that those things have been accomplished. So you have a set of those, and then we'll revise those and make sure they're solidified national law before the
I am aware of what the contract says, that we can review it annually as needed. But my difficulty is that we do your performance evaluation in the spring, and if we wait until October to have this in more detail, then we're really missing a key point as far as our evaluation time period, so.
Well, on that, that's what I'm saying, you already have that. I'm just telling you that the caveat of the contract says October 1, you're gonna have it, you've already got it. It's in terms of goals, but we've got to put out indicators.
Right,
Complete
okay.
the indicators, and you'll have those.
Okay.
You have the final indicator before the end of the month.
Do we want to set up a meeting in August then to go over that?
Or early I mean,
For September 3rd.
or the first couple,
Either August is fine with me or September, whichever is convenient for you guys.
This is on our strategic plan or a goal?
Our goal, final
Yeah,
goal,
goals.
is trash control.
Superintendent comment.
right, goals. Well, I'm flexible.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're working with work session association, so Monday.
I can push out some dates within the next 4 weeks and see how it goes.
First Monday in September is Labor Day, so that's maybe 11th? No. 12th.
You in September?
I'd rather do it, I mean, it's August.
Can we get it done in August?
Yeah, that'd be great. I like that.
Be, the 29th would be the last Monday, right?
Or,
Or what about?
or Wednesday, the 20, oh no, the board meeting is the
Does that give you
22nd.
enough time?
Yeah, I'm done, so I mean, it's just a couple of minor adjustments.
Okay, the 15th is horrible.
Why don't you push out some days? We can do it.
Put out a spreadsheet, and you can
Yeah.
respond according to the dates you're available. I'll collect that, I can do that on Google Docs.
Okay. Any other dates we need to be concerned about? Coming up?
So where does that leave us on the different, like I wrote down strategic plan, because we never did that. Is that different?
It's contained in it, we're going to have a discussion about that last strategic plan was in May of 2008. So
That's a district-wide.
that's
Do you
district
need more
wide.
time for that then?
Oh.
I mean, oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's where the teacher, I mean, it's a.
Communities involved, staff is involved,
All right.
a lot of
Yeah,
feedback.
Yeah,
That's not fair.
that's,
Okay. Very good, then, moving on, that was informational only, then, moving on, 8.2, citizen